As we get older, the smartphone does advance more and more every single year, and this electrical commodity became our daily essential. And if we don't be cautious about it, we all ended up spending a lot of our lifetime into this device. And even though I'm a big tech fan, especially smartphone camera and etc., I still want to enjoy my life and see the actual world rather than the world inside of this. To fix this solution, I used to get a smaller phone with smaller battery life, but not sacrificing on the flagship camera such as iPhone 12 mini, because I do love taking a bunch of photos, and this phone is one of the best iPhone that I ever used. But I ended up switching to iPhone 13 Pro, and I did my best to make this device productive. So in this video, I'm going through my iPhone just like what's on my iPhone video, but at the same time, I'm sharing my productive tips to make your iPhone more productive. Does that make any sense? I have no idea, but let's get right into it. Before we get into this video, if you guys like a tech video that is a little bit more on the funnier side, please hit the sub button and please hit the like button. But let's get right into it. So this is my iPhone, and before we get into the apps, I wanted to show to you guys my focus setting. When I scroll from the top, I have like bunch of focus setting. I have do not disturb, work, sleep, fitness, and editing. Each of these focus setting have different type of setting and time. Some of them are automated, like between the days, like on the weekdays, my work will turn on automatically, and in my weekends I will turn on like editing or fitness to not get disturbed at all. And 99% of my day I have this thing on. I only allowed around 1 or 2 apps to give me notification, and I only have a couple of people to give me a phone call or anything. But in these days, no one really calls each other, no one really use phone numbers, so I ended up really using these focus settings. To make your own focus setting, just go to setting menu and go to focus and tap the plus button, and you can kind of customize it. So if you guys have iOS 15 or above, anyone can do this, and I highly suggest you guys to do this because do not disturb is awesome, but you kind of need some sort of apps, especially if you're doing like an internship or if you're a full-time worker. You need some apps to give you a notification so you will know, you can talk with your colleagues, right? And from my control panel, if you scroll it from the top, I don't really have a lot of options. I mean, the main thing I probably use is my focus setting, screen lock, like the rotation lock, calculator, voice memo, and low power mode. And that's about it. I love voice memo on every smartphone. I use voice memo a lot, especially when I have like an idea that I just really want to make a quick note about it. Of course, I'm not gonna use it in public places. I do not want to look like a, very, I don't know, it's kind of weird to just shouting on your phone in public or on the train, so I'm not gonna do that. But when I'm not out in public, I usually use voice memo to memo my idea for these YouTube videos. Since we got out of the boring stuff right away, let's get into the juicy stuff, which is my apps and widgets. On my widget panels, if you scroll all the way to the left, at the top I have a stacks of widgets. I just have it just in case if I want to use some sort of apps and I need a quick access for it. All the way to the top I have photos. For some reason I have Line. Line is like a WhatsApp for Asian country like Korea and Japan. I have Google Mail, Gmail, weather app, Chrome, Spotify, my fitness app for my Apple Watch, and I have calendar app. I don't really use these widgets pretty often. I just have it just in case, so I have a quick access for it. So nothing very special about this. However, the second right down there, I have my screen on time widget. I take this screen on time thing very seriously. If you guys ever see my real day in the life stuff, my personal goal is to not hit around 1.5 hours of a screen on time per day. If I hit over 1.5 hours, I'll be very ashamed of myself because I did not what I supposed to do. And most of my mail and most of my other admin stuff and my work in Slack, I use my PC, and on my PC I have another settings to make it productive, so I won't be sucked into this smartphone loophole, or black hole should I say. And under my battery percentages, I have MyFitnessPal app. MyFitnessPal is like a macro tracking app. I'm not going into this deep entendre of macros and micros for fitness fitness fanatics, but I like to track my calories, and right now I am bulking much as possible. I do not love to eat, but I've been eating around 3,000 calories per day, so I've been tracking my macros. So this is the very first page of my iPhone, and as you guys can see all the way to the top, I have a widget from Things3. The only reason why I use Things3 for my to-do list is because of this widgets. As soon as I open my phone, I can see what I have to do today, and it's very simple to manage these to-do as well. I really love this widgets. It does cost you some money, but I think it's highly worth it, especially if you're using the widget. The second and third widgets that I have on my first page is both calendar apps. First one is Google Calendar because I am a huge advocate of Google Calendar. I use this app all the time, and it's just a simpler way for me to observe what I put on my Google Calendar on this widget. And the second widget is called the Ermine. Ermine is a calendar app, and one of the reasons why I put this calendar app on my first page is to observe how many days are in the month and what kind of days are in each days, if you know what I'm talking about. So for example, today is November 11th and today is Thursday. I can see that like right in front of me. So when my friend or my colleague or other people ask me when I'm free or what days I'm free, I can literally just look at my calendar and I can tell them when I'm super bored. I like to make my home screen aesthetic minimal and simple as possible because I just prefer those type of design. For my icons, I mostly use my icon pack, so if you guys want to check it out, I will link in the description below so you guys can check it out, and it's not expensive, so please consider to purchase it, like seriously. So the apps that I have on my home screen or in my iPhone, to be honest, I don't really have anything special. I only have a very generic, like the baseline apps that I need on my day-to-day basis. So for example, on the first page of my home screen, I have weather app, messaging app, calculation app, NordVPN, another calendar app, Chrome, fitness app, the Apple Watch fitness app, and my Apple Watch apps. So at the way bottom of my phone, those 4 essential apps that every iOS have is number 1, my Pomodoro Technique app called Forest. Pomodoro Technique is a time management technique that you create 25 minutes to around 45 minutes of focus session, and after that you take around 5 to 15 minutes of break and you keep repeating this cycle. And I highly suggest Forest if you have a smartphone. For tablet and macOS, I use different Pomodoro Technique app and even my Apple Watch, but for smartphone in general, I do highly suggest Forest. This is one of the best Pomodoro Technique app of all time. And the second app is Audible. I love audiobooks so much. I only listen to audiobook and podcast most of the time. I only listen to music when I'm working out, and that's about it. So Audible, highly recommend it. My third app is Spotify. I love Spotify. I love listening to music when I'm working out. The fourth app is Notion, and I still love Notion. I use Notion every single day, and this note-taking app does literally everything for me. I do budgeting, my workout plans, my video description idea, and like etc. I do most of the stuff on Notion, and I am a Notion advocate. I don't have a lot of apps or widgets on my second page, but I basically have 2 Notion widgets at the top, and the left one is my workout widget. I do track all my weights and reps that I do for my workout, and I basically love working out. Second widget that I have is project. On this project page of my Notion, I basically do all my creativity stuff for my freelance, for my work, for YouTube and whatnot. I do put all my scripts and publishing day, and I manage all those stuff into this page. I really love this Notion shortcut widget because it does minimize my time to access my Notion pages, and I don't want to use a lot of other note-taking apps. I don't want to make it all convoluted on my iPhone, so I basically use most of those 2 widgets on this phone. On my second page, I do have 2 apps. Number 1 is my wallet app for my phone, and the second app is Suica. Suica is like an IC card for public transportation in Japan, and you can use it in convenience store and other store as well. So I basically use this app to charge my Suica on my iPhone, and it's very useful. For my third page, I just put all the necessary apps into each folders, and I just basically use them sometimes. On my first folder, I have PayPal, phone, health, sneakers, sneakers app because I do like sneakers, and my fitness pal. And the second folder, I do have all the Google applications that I use, so YouTube Studio, YouTube, Google Maps, and etc. And my third folder is all about photography and creation, so I do have Photos, Visco, Moment app, which is one of the best video camera apps ever. For me, it's so easy to use it, it's very intuitive, and you can shoot log as well. So if you want a full manual control on your iPhone and want to have a very intuitive application, Moment app, highly recommend it. And I also have an app for my Alpha 7 III, which is the camera that I'm shooting right now. The beauty of the current iOS is the app library. So most of the apps that I don't really use every day, I just shove it into app library so my home screen will look nice and clean. And lastly, I want to go through some apps that I use as a second language English speaker. So if you guys are second language speaker and if you want to improve your English, I hope these apps will help you. Number one is Anki. Anki is a flashcard app that is utilizing spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is a study technique, and it's kind of hard for me to explain it, but basically some vocab that you really remember, they open up the space for like a couple of days so you don't have to recall in your brain much often. But some certain vocabs that you need to recall often, the app will shorten up the recalling period in the app so you can recall it or review it once again in the app, like during the day or the many time as you want to recall it. The way I use Anki is pretty simple. If I didn't understand certain vocabs when I'm listening to podcasts or reading a book, I simply put it on Google Translate. Once I list all the vocab, I simply put it in Anki with a meaning, photo, and example of those vocabs to recall it perfectly in my brain so I can recall it with an image and the meaning of the certain vocabs. The second app is an English grammar app, and it's called the English Grammar and Use. This app is based on a book called English Grammar and Use, and it's their app version. This app will let you learn English grammar like a video game just a little bit. It has a quiz feeling to it, and I feel like it's better than just writing on a notebook, or it's more entertaining than just filling out the PDF file or writing on top of the actual English Grammar Use book. And lastly is Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a great free online courses that you can take mostly anywhere on your PC, tablet, or smartphone. And this app has a vast amount of English grammar like courses totally for free, and I do highly suggest for people who wants to sophisticate your English grammar and learn better English in more formal way, I guess. It's not colloquial English, it's more like a writing English, and once you understand writing English, your colloquial English will improve as well. Anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, and I'll leave two of my favorite videos right here, my channel right here, and my most recent video right here. I hope you guys have a great day. My name is P Skates. You guys already know. Peace out, guys.